You are Locked On Coogs, your daily podcast on the Houston Cougars, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Parker Andrews Locked On Coogs here, breaking down Houston's big 60-47 win over the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Houston's defense leads the way, held Oklahoma State to less than 29% shooting. Jawan Roberts double-double led the way on offense. But I'm worried about this Houston team in a couple of offensive instances, and I'm hoping that just, getting through the rust, shaking the rust off and stuff gets them moving in the right direction. A couple comments here from EI Crabtree77. Houston's defense outstanding tonight on the road. Great win. It certainly was a great defensive night for the Cougs. And then he also said Oklahoma State starting five shot a combined 4 of 24 from the field. Cowboys got most of the production from the bench, scored 28 of the team's 42 points. Now, I don't mean to dismiss that because I do think that holding the starters to poor shooting notes is important. But Oklahoma State's bench scoring 28 points is not abnormal for Oklahoma State. The abnormal part of that is just the first half, right? That Oklahoma State, their starters were held to such bad shooting nights across the board. BYU, and then I'm using that as an entree to the rest of the Big 12, is a much, much different type of opponent. I'm really worried about Igor Demon. Igor Demon is the 6'9" Russian kid. He was playing semi-pro ball in Spain. I guess it's pro ball, but it went in Spain. At BYU now, he's getting 13, 6, and 5, and he's getting better as the year goes. They have 4 other guys all averaging double digits. This BYU team is fast. They play hard. They score a lot of points. They have the 10th highest offensive rating in all of college basketball. Houston's defense is going to get put to the test. Then hold good defensive effort against this BYU offense. What that also means, unfortunately, is that you got to score 62. You've got to find some way to come out with that on the other side. And that's where I think my focus on Houston's offense tonight is founded, right? Like I think that we saw the defense, seen the defense travel, and that's big. And frankly, Houston getting this next game at home is a big deal, right? BYU at home to kind of come back and get things situated is important. And I don't mean to dismiss either. I guess I should say this part so it doesn't get said. Parker didn't. Last year, Houston lost both of their first 2 road games in the Big 12 and went on to win the Big 12 conference, at least the regular season title, right? So I understand how this is already theoretically, hypothetically better, right? They've already won a road game in conference play, but that's just not going to work, and it's not good enough right now, right? The conference is still strong. This was not the strongest opponent. This is very much a rebuilding team, and when your defense showed up and showed out, I'll say it over and over again. The offense isn't the kind of offense you're going to need more of that when you go to Manhattan, Kansas. As rough a year as they've had, you're going to need more offensive production when you go to Manhattan, Kansas. You're going to need more offensive production at the end. It's about a month from now. You go to Lawrence, Kansas. You're just going to need more. You're going to need more when you go. Frankly, you might need more when you go to Colorado in February. Going down the schedule in my head now. I think then it's Arizona and then Baylor. There's Baylor and Arizona State. Those are both tough. I guess that game is at home because the second Baylor game's on the road. But this is something they're going to have to work on. And is it EI Crabtree 77 says that Cryan and Robert played the preseason Big 12 guys they need more consistent. And I get that. But they got to have more than 2 guys. For this team to be strong, they either need to completely lean into Roberts being the guy tonight, Cryer being the guy on other nights, whoever the guy is, and get that guy 18 shots, They didn't. Jawan Roberts got just 13 shots. Or they need to lean all the way into getting 5-6 guys in double figures because they've got kind of a bunch of pieces that can add to this a bunch of different ways, right? Tonight, they couldn't get a bunch of guys in double figures, right? Jojo Tugler was in foul trouble. I think had he been on the floor more, he might have been okay. Arsenault was 0 for 3. Francis was 1 of 4, and frankly, I forgot it was just 4. It felt like on the floor there was a lot more. And I think what's interesting is they run the floppy set for a lot of their base. They came out and ran some horn stuff, which is essentially moving the low post and floppy up the high posts if you're a basketball X's and O's guy, and crisscrossing the two perimeter guys. They opened the second half by putting Milos on a wing, actually, and put him down in the corner and kind of running him as a secondary guard with LJ running the point guard. And the thought, I think, was, hey, let's get something jump started, get something going. LJ's hot, get the ball in his hands more, right? Let's figure out how to get some more offense generated. And it didn't seem to do a whole lot of anything different. It didn't seem to do a whole lot of anything different. They went small. I think small when they went with Arsenault. At one point, it was Malik Wilson. At one point, it was Emmanuel Sharp. And they had LJ, and they had Milos, and they had Jojo, and at one point, they had JVR. Those lineups with one true post player and then a handful of other guys, I really feel like, as you see it, I got a starred comment here. Look at us, right? Texas Football Channel. Welcome to the show, Texas Football Channel. All I was saying is I think that when you see those guard lineups go, I like that you saw they didn't give up anything extra defensively. When you go with guard lineups, you kind of worry about getting beat up with big guys, and Terrence being able to hold his own, and Emmanuel being able to hold his own. And frankly, there was one time Malik Wilson came over from the help side, and his verticality helps him a lot as well in that smaller lineup. That was all impressive. But the small lineups are made to score. You're made to space out the other team, dive through things, cut through things. And I just worry about the stretches of offense with this team where they can't score. And Joe says they can, but it felt like in this game that they turned the ball over a lot and they got to the rack. They would drive through and kick out, and the guy would just kind of catch and wait too long on the kick out. It was a sloppy offensive game. Now, I understand that it's been a long time since the A&M Corpus Christi game, and I understand that this is, every team plays these games, right? You can go watch, I don't know, Indiana went undefeated 40 years ago, whatever, and they had ugly games. You can go watch UConn's the national champion the last 2 years. They had ugly games. You can go watch anyone throughout the season in any given season, and the best teams in America will still have these ugly games. And it's been a full 9 days since A&M Corpus Christi game. And frankly, as far as high power 4 or I guess 5 in basketball level competition goes, you saw Butler at the start of the month. You beat them by 28. And it's just kind of been a while since you had a game like this. I understand those rust things and still want to see a sharper offense. And I worry that BYU this weekend is going to be problematic in that. I worry that you're down the stretch, you're into the season stuff. You got Tech, Cincinnati, Kansas, and Baylor. I think in that order are your end of season 4. And those are tough, man. Got to go to Lubbock. Hard to win in Lubbock. Cincinnati's in the top 20 right now. It might be top 15 if AP poll came out today. I think they're top 20. Kansas top 10. Baylor with a couple losses is definitely still in the top 25, right? Those are challenging things. And maybe this is the takeaway here. And AI Crab, thank you for tuning in all night. He said to give Oak State defense credit. They played decent. The 8-man rotation UH played with night seemed intentionally based on a conference road game. Oh, we got a couple things here also from Cougars in Germany. Thank you. Greens from Bavaria. Oh, hey, we should talk Cougars in Germany because I been to Germany once. I really enjoyed Munich, actually. But we'll talk. So I want to get back to Crab's comment about the defense of Oklahoma State because maybe, again, They are a team with most, I think they said, only 3 returners. Most of those guys are new to the team, new head coach. They may be gelling on the defensive end in a way that I'm not fully giving credit for, right? But I'm more worried about stuff like this. Like Joe Mendez points out that JVR needs to go up stronger with the basket and start bringing the ball down around his waist, right? He's a fourth-year player, right? I remember talking about JVR as I guess the show started his sophomore year. But like when he was a freshman, I was okay, he'll grow out of that. He'll grow out of that. Well, we're sitting here however many years later, and we're still talking about these kind of things, right? Like, I worry about where this offense goes if they're going to ultimately get San Antonio. And the scary thing is like the defense is good enough to win on Monday night in San Antonio, right? The defense absolutely is. At Oklahoma State, a fast-paced team to multiple shot clock violations. At Oklahoma State to less than 29% shooting. At Oklahoma State to all these different crazy defensive statistics, force 14 turnovers, etc. The offense had 12 of their own, right? Like that's where this worries me. And I think my biggest thing, and the truth is I'm like a very optimistic fan. I don't think that these are things that they can't get fixed. It worried me tonight when I watched them because we also think about like in their 3 losses, San Diego State, Auburn, Alabama. Not that I didn't say that in order. San Diego State, Alabama, Auburn, I guess in reverse order. There were stretches of those games the offense stalled out. With their close wins, the couple of them that I guess you could argue had. I don't know what close game is 20 points. It's the 13 tonight. It's the closest win. Anyway, you've seen moments where they go 5 and 6 minutes without scoring a basket, and then they just go bonkers later. All of that is to say, whether we're talking to you in Germany or we're talking to you in Texas, that I still think this team has a shot to run away. I don't mean that like I'm not like that dismissive of any of it by any stretch. I understand this offense might just look rusty, and I may be eating my words. Hopefully, I will happily be eating my words on Saturday afternoon. But the offense and the sloppiness, it worked at Oklahoma State, and I'm really hoping that things get cleaned up between now and later. Now, with that said, we bring you later. Today is the 30th. This is the episode for the 31st, technically. Going to take New Year's Day off itself. But we'll be back on the second and 3rd, getting ready for BYU on Saturday. And they'll be live after the game on Saturday as well. We'll also be talking about transfer portal stuff, some new signings, some new guys visiting in the next window, all kinds of stuff here each and every day at Locked on Coogs. Except for New Year's Day. Don't check on New Year's Day. We're not coming on New Year's Day. But every other day, we're here at Locked on Coogs, primarily Locked on Podcast. It's your team every day.